decision-making process. Hold governments accountable, because governments must report to the people. Okay, look, you heard Sam Jonah talk about the last resort in those days being academia. Today, you hardly would hear them, because some of them will tell you, for instance, that there's a risk associated with speaking, talking about national issues, which they are not prepared for. Try it. And I mean, all of us seated here have gone through this, before. You're doing a report and you're calling, Chief, please, can we have a conversation on this? Talk to this other person. I don't want to talk about it. He will give you the number. He knows the next person you're going to speak to won't speak on the issue. In fact, 2 months to elections, I wanted to do something on the Ghanaian economy. Everybody I spoke to said, oh, no, it's too close to elections. I'm not going to talk about this. Why were they not prepared to speak about these issues that concern the country's well-being? Look, we can pretend all is well. But like the Ghanaian proverb, once she starts, the body starts rotten, you would understand. Let us not pretend in this country that everything is rosy. Let us as a people begin to appreciate that, look, the essence of a democracy is that we must exchange ideas. And the one with superior argument wins at the end of the day. You win because we say, okay, listen, this is what we want to do. We would debate it and say, you're not doing it right. But when I say you're not doing it right, and let me say this, when we are having a conversation, and that's why the philosophers say ad hominem, you're attacking the person and not dealing with the issue. Nobody says, agree with everything that somebody says. But we're saying, do not insult somebody because he's actually disagreed with you. You can disagree with that person without insulting the person. And Kojo, what do we need, for instance, a public university bill for? Why must central government control the membership, the numbers when it comes to the university council? You've seen the university lecturers complain about all of these things. Okay? And so today, you speak, and then the next moment on social media, you'll be trending for the wrong reason. You're trending not because you've made a very important point, but you're trending because certain party persons who have been classified as social media communicators of a party, their job is to take you to the cleaners. Such a country is not a country that is on a path of development, because that country has only a certain group of people making decisions. Anybody who disagrees, that person is taken to the cleaners. We have said before as a people that if I knew everything, I certainly would not buy a book to read. If I knew everything, I wouldn't call experts before coming to sit on the Super Morning Show. It is because I recognize that I do not know everything. That's the reason I would consult as many people as possible before I put forth my arguments. Look, we can pretend as we want, but let us not forget that there is always your truth, my truth, and the real truth. Even if you don't care as a person. And it's something that an elderly person told me one day. He said, Winston, I am thinking about my grandchildren. And I think you should think about your children because you don't have grandchildren. I think about my children. You should think about your children. Is this the sort of country that you want? Is it a country that you want where you speak against policies that the people you voted for and your taxes are used to pay them and give them a comfortable life are supposed to implement, and you become the enemy of the state? This is certainly not where we want to be as a country. And it's time as a people, as right-thinking Ghanaians, we stand up and say, look, let us have conversations devoid of insults so that everybody can participate in a national dialogue. Today we are calling for a dialogue on Galamsey, aren't we? Yeah. We're calling for a dialogue because we realize that the original policies we implemented have not yielded the result we expected. So, if we are calling for a dialogue, and I am scared to speak, would you, for instance, have the ideas that I bring to the table? How many people didn't state, for instance, that we needed to create community ownership of our fight against, Galamsey.
Yes.
We talked about the fact that the community must own this. And how must the community own it? They must own it by, first of all, buying into it. And they buy into it when they are part of the decision-making process. We ignored it. We went to war, fighting a menace we did not understand. Later, as we have seen, it became a tool for enriching some people. Let us not pretend in this country. Let us say things as they are, because we have only one country. Only one. One country called Ghana. So the hypocrisy of, look at these people talking. Well, for some, they would speak. And I like the point that Sam Jonah makes for, sometimes for those who speak the truth, is when your doctor has told you you're about to die. Maybe you're like Mahatma Gandhi, or you're an old person.
Yeah.
Let it not be only older people speaking the truth in this country. Let all of us be prepared to speak the truth, and let all of us have conversations. That, at the end of it all, will inure to our benefit as a country, Ghana.
In a moment, we'll bring our callers into this conversation. But you know what? That point that you ended with, there's a certain formula that I think we ignore in this country. Daniel Domelevu alluded to it. Mm-hmm. He said that when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. Mm-hmm. So I want you to just think through our time as a nation. Let's just restrict ourselves to the Fourth Republic. Take any example of somebody who criticized the way we do things and how the state responded. Because the state has choices. They can either listen to you, they can ignore you, or they can attack you. When they attack you, what does it mean? There's a formula here. Somebody speaks, airs their views, then they are attacked. What does it mean? Let's forget about the merits of what they have said or demerits. If you disagree, there's a way of disagreeing. But when you attack, what does it mean? What does it mean when you attack someone who spoke? So, Sir Sam Jonah has shared his views.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything he said. Mm-hmm. Some of them I agree with. Some of them I completely disagree with. But I'm not attacking him. Those who are attacking him, what does it mean? Why are they attacking? It's a simple formula. It's a simple formula. If a person has a choice of either listening, ignoring, or attacking, and they choose to attack, what does it mean?
How can a system degenerate to the level that we no longer have healthy debates? Mm-hmm. So, because we're all trained with that particular thinking. We looked up to people who are in that space, who survived in that space. And the current government, its greatest ethos was we had people, great minds, who did this in times past. So how come that the generations below, and even some people who are actually, and I agree that we might not have a proper appreciation of our political ideologies the way it's supposed to be. But let's look at this formula simply. We are in a state where we believe that Lord Acton says power corrupts. So absolute power actually corrupts absolutely. So we check government power by people saying that, no, what you did is wrong. So can you fix this? That's what makes a partners in a democratic experiment.
Yeah.
Immediately you say that what you did is wrong. Can you fix this? Businessmen lose businesses in the process.
Yeah.
Ordinary people get attacked in the process. And you're not saying don't disagree.
There's nothing wrong with disagreeing.
Yes. There's a difference between attacking and threatening people.
Thank you.
When they make some of these comments.
Yeah.
And you are virtually crowding out everybody out of the space and leaving it for politicians.
You say
so
something.
All that we want to hear is MPP says this, NDC says
said
this. They even want the journalists to reflect MPP said this, NDC said
Yeah.
this, and create the impression that they are the only voices in the space.
So a journalist gives an editorial view, and
Yeah.
you have to be neutral. Where on earth did that idea come from that a journalist must be neutral? Who invented that lie? Neutral? Yeah, I must be objective, but why must I be neutral? Why must I not have a view? In fact, why must I not help my audience express their views by providing a platform to do so? And if I'm providing a platform that I am not willing to use myself, why will you trust it?
There's also the admission, forgive me, just one last point, that some journalists have sold their conscience. It's not without doubt.
Yeah.
That some journalists have actually become stooges of political parties and reflected their views. But even with dealing with that, why? We have MPs who are more like compradors, who have represented other interests other than the state's interest. Their response is not to go and say that, hey, MP, you ought to be shot dead or you ought to be insulted because this is what happened. there is a need for sanity in the space. There is also a need for introspection that says that this democratic experiment, is it heading towards development? Because if you believe in development and I believe in development, that's the end goal that we want to achieve. We will shelve the insults because we are all heading towards the same place. It's because you believe in the parochial interest of having your party or having money go into your pocket because you were believed to have attacked somebody and done a screenshot nicely, sent it to a political actor in a way that will make you get some money. It's more important than the need for everybody to participate. Do you know, family, when we went to 1992 and 1993, we instituted programs for people to participate in the democratic experiment. We deliberately went out there to say that we are not getting as many people as involved. Their voices ought to be heard. When they started speaking up, we got into trouble for it. Now, it is not enough to just say that, oh, well, we need to deal with this problem. What is happening is predominantly the case that everybody is engaged in some self-preservation because the people with the power of the state are the one cracking down.
It's sad.
It
Look,
is not enough, for example, me and you can hackle it out on social media or wherever you want to find it. But when power of the state comes in, we are all disabled.
Look, there used to be a time when the state would give reference and deference to certain voices when they speak because they considered them to be partners in development. You heard Sir Sam Jonah talking about the Legon Observer, right? Where's the Catholic Standard?
That's true.
Palmer Buckles.
Yes.
Where's the Ghana Bar Association? Occupy Ghana. Occupy Ghana. Otabil. Where is Otabil? Do you remember whenever it was time for Springboard, we would all go and capture whatever that man says and come and play it over and over and over because we saw him to be speaking truth to power. When was the last time he did that? Christian Council. Look, there were certain institutions who the people could rely on to speak up when what is happening or what the state is doing is not what the people desire. All of these people.
The National Union of Ghana Students.
Thank you. All of these people, right now, they will either only speak for their own interests or they will shut up because they are afraid of what will happen to them if they speak. Why? And by the way, this is not an attack. This is not an attack. I'm asking very fair questions. Look, President Akufo-Addo is somebody who I admire. No, let me correct that. I revere him. Look, I have so much respect for that man. The things he has achieved in our history. The fact that we are able to sit around the table and talk about these things today is partly down to him. When he repealed the criminal libel law, not just that, what is it, Kume Preko? All the people that he represented pro bono, just so that they would have their day in court. President Akufo-Addo has cemented his status as a person who respects, reveres, and will fight for our human rights. So why? Why should such things happen under his watch? You know, recently he met with civil society, the people that he described as an amorphous group. He met with them and told them that he never, what's it called? He said that Daniel Domelevo was never targeted or chased out of office. The president said that. Why? Yes, maybe you, President Akufo-Addo, didn't go and target him and chase him out of office.
But we are in this country.
And, I mean, look, you received a letter from a board that doesn't exist. Am I incorrect here?
Yeah.
The board had been dissolved. You received a letter from a board that doesn't exist, claiming that somebody's birthday is wrong. No investigation. You wrote to the person that he should go on retirement. Since when did we do things that way? But if I could go and say it,
we were happy.
Forgive me, let me just wrap this. Let me make this point. If I, Kojo Yankson, say this, then I'm NDC. Right? Because I don't have a brain of my own with which I can assess what my president does and say this is good, this is bad. I don't possess that brain. I can only speak if the NDC has their hand up my backside and is controlling my mouth like a puppet. That's the only way I can have a view. Right? How insulting. That any time you say something that goes against one party, it means you belong to the other. You, dear, you are not capable of independent thought. How can that be? How can we see each other like that and hope to develop as a nation? We need redemption. Ubete.
Generation triumph.
Please look, call us, okay? This conversation is in your honor, so please call us. We'd love to hear your voice. I think the number 055 1111 997. Okay, 055 1111 997. Please pay attention to that number. It's changed. Okay, call us. We'd love to hear from you, Winston.
Well, we cannot continue like this. If we continue like this, we're only telling ourselves that we want to fail as a country. Because a country where you don't have dissenting voices is not one that can thrive. Because people must feel free to say, well, this is not being done properly, and so let's do it the other way. And for me, all we have said is, look, nobody is saying do not critique somebody for what he says. All we are saying is that you can critique that person, but do not insult that person. Because the moment you insult, you drive a lot of right-thinking Ghanaians away with the best of ideas away from the conversation. And if they do not take part in the conversation, we miss a lot, and we will come back having failed, calling for more ideas, spending more money when we could have actually spent a little money resolving the problems that we face as a country. What is past is gone. Let us chart a new path and say, never again shall it be a crime in this country to critique those in authority, more so when I contribute through the payment of taxes for their upkeep, more so when I voted for them to come into this country to govern, in fact, to serve based on what they had told me.
Call us, okay? 055 1111 997. Our original numbers are misbehaving, so put them to one side and use the ones I'm giving you, okay? I have two numbers for you. First one is 055 1111 997. But you can also call us on 054 8955 947. Okay, so that's 054 8955 947. Okay, or 055 1111 997. We're dying to hear your voice on this. It's a conversation that, in fact, it doesn't work without you. Peter is on the line, calling us from Tema. Peter, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
How are you?
I'm very well, Peter. You?
Okay, this morning my heart is troubled, because as a nation, the youth is supposed to revere their elders. And we are in a nation where we had someone who said he's not an expert in economics, he's not an expert in whatever, but he knows that he can see. He's an expert in speaking on empty stomach, and that he's good at it. And he brought a whole lot of buhaha in this nation, and then this way has brought us to. So the elderly are supposed to instill discipline in the youth. Either than that. And the funny thing is that as a nation, people are also listening to us. People are also watching us, what we are doing. So if the Chinese can even say that it's we Ghanaians that invite them to come in the show, water body, and all of that, as a nation, we are joking. If not, we can see the second wave of whatever happened with that man that said he's an expert. He's not an expert in economics and all of that. So we have people who are experts in economics, experts in everything, and the country is running to somewhere, and everybody's just sitting down. Ghanaians, we have to wake up because people respect this country, but we don't respect ourselves, and it's a pity. Good morning.
Thank you, Peter. Richard is in Teshi. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Kojo. Kojo, I'm surprised you are now talking about this Dominogo issue because it was the CSO strike, but we didn't get anywhere. But I tell you what, we are in a country like that, and whether you like it or not, it's going to be like that for a very long time. Because, I don't know, I'm short of words, seriously. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my brother. You can call us to 054-8955-947, or you can try 055-1111-997. Who do we have on the line? Hello? Right, I think we're just working to bring someone through. But look, I want to hear from you, okay? What do you think? Is there a culture of silence? What are the examples, perhaps, in your mind that point to the fact that there is a culture of silence? Or maybe you don't think there is one. But don't forget, it's okay to disagree with us. It's okay. Call us. Tell us what you think. Promise is on the line. Promise, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling, brother.
Yeah, Kojo, thank you for this morning, the message that you are discussing. I think that is what we are lucky. And things of this nature is what we are expecting. And so stop inviting these politicians and give the floor to the ordinary Ghanaians. Let them discuss the thing passionately. That is why many people will get involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Nene Ajimang is in Ofanko. Nene, good morning.
Yes, Kojo. Good morning to you and good morning to all the listeners.
Thank you.
Kojo, the simple reason why the politicians take offense when journalists speak their minds is that for every bad decision they make, they know the good or better alternatives that they didn't make. And they think that once you say it, then you're giving their political opponents the advantage. That is a simple reason. They know the right thing, but they will never do it. Because the right things usually will benefit you and I. But the wrong things they do, they are the only ones who will benefit. And that's the reason why they criticize you and they send their boys to, say all manner of things against you. But don't lose hope. You are serving the nation. Do your best. There is still hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Asifwa, is that the right pronunciation? Asifwa. Oh, good morning, Asifwa.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
I have a very big problem in this country, especially the way even youth are acquiring wealth. A youth will acquire wealth unethically in his 30s or 40s. Then when the person gets to 70, the person is now preaching that what is happening in this country is worse. So these are conversations we have to have as people. The way we are behaving now, those in our 30s, those in our 40s, in our 70s, we have the moral right to tell people that the country is degenerating. We should look at that. Thank you.
Thank you too. Omusumuru is in Domabing. Omusumuru, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Yeah, I bet you know. It's good to hear from you.
Yes. God bless you so much for the wonderful work you did for Ghana. My greetings to Elimuwa, Sami, and your crew.
Wonderful.
And also, let me say good morning to Sister Fati of Zenith Bank Graphic Road Branch. You know what? The culture of silence has become order of the day because of two things. One, those power drunkards. And two, the so-called millionaires of this country. Why am I saying that? You know, the journalists, when you say something about someone and the person has some dirty money, let me say dirty money, we just go and organize some few people, give them something, and then they will come at you. Again, if the person has any power, any small power at his disposal, he will use that power, call the police, call some few people that he can influence, and then they will come at you. That is why we are at where we are now. This country, there's no law that is working. And I believe you, there are some few people that have failed this country. One, our pastors. Two, our imams. And then our traditional leaders. They have failed us. You know, those people, they have some powers that if the person has money like anything, or he has power like anything, and some of these people, like a chief, imam, or a pastor, call him that, oh, my brother, or my sister, what you are doing, please, if you do it like this, like it will help us, let's pray, please. You know, the person will come down. But what are we saying? There's nobody advising anyone. There's no law that is working, and everybody is living anyhow in this country. You know, one big journalist, I was talking to him, and he was telling me that there was some news items, and he took it up. When he was saying it on air, the person called his boss. That his boss should call him to order and let him stop what he's saying. And that big journalist has to stop what he was saying. And do you think if this thing goes on, where are we going? My brother, it's very sad. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for calling us. We've got Ajwa from Awoshi. Ajwa, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling
I'm
us.
looking at this issue from the angle where you talk about the politicians. How when you call or when you say anything that affects the other party, they think you belong to the other. I have watched with concern for some time now how our media landscape has only been laced with the voice of politicians, as if they are the only ones who live in this country. But Ghana is not NDC, Ghana is not NPP. Our future is at stake. And I think this has been spearheaded by some of the media houses. You tune into radio stations, you tune into TV stations, and when there's an issue, they call NDC, and the other side is MPP, and they come and debate. So they have come to think that they are the only people who matter in this country. But, I mean, we all know there are brains in this country, and there are objective brains. My only plea this morning is that when there is an issue, please, Joy FM, you are doing good. Joy Multimedia, you are doing good. Speak to the other colleagues, other stations, that they should call individuals, people with objective minds, without any political lacing, to speak their minds, so that we see the way clearly, and not politics, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's provided that the objective minds will not be worried about being labeled when they speak. We have Malik, right, from the Upper East region.
Hello.
Hello. Who do we have on the line? Oh, dear. Malik is on the line still from the Upper East region, I hope. Hi, Malik. No, we're having difficulty with that line. But please call us 054-8955-97, okay? 054-8955-9... Oh, that number is not long enough. I think we're missing one digit there, right? Yeah, okay. But you can call 055-1111-957, okay? Humphrey is on the line. Hi, Humphrey. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Kojo.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't know what to even say. As a citizen of this country, the way the media landscape is so quiet, the way Pastor Mensa Otaboy is so quiet, he's my pastor. He's a pastor that I respect the most, Reverend Matthew, and many others. I don't know where they are. When John Mahama was in power, Every day, this gentleman is being backed with critique. He doesn't talk. He listens. He does what he's supposed to do. But today, we can't hear any of them. Why are we going as a country? And the youth of today, they don't want to work. They don't want to work because they all believe where to get the money is politics. They don't want to work. They have political leaders who they kowtow to. So whatever you say, they will think you are doing a video of a political party. Hence, they will come after you. It's very true. Sometimes I get angry. As I'm talking to, I'm driving. I get angry. I pay taxes. I pay hundreds of thousands of Ghana cedis as a tax. As I speak with you, I'm driving to the bank to go and make a payment. But the politician will sit down, use a pen to take the money. When you talk, they come after you. I think we are so timid enough, including myself. We need to come after the politician to let them know that our generation will not suffer the way we also suffer. They must come into a country whereby they have things better. We always talk about US, talk about Canada, other countries. They are not ruling with any kind of spiritual world. They are ruling with their brain. Let us sit up. Portable should speak. Reverend Martin must speak. If they don't have the radio, I can make it available for them to talk. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Wow, that's some there. Kofi is in Tema. Kofi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, too, for listening to me. Thank you for having me. I agree that this issue you're talking about is very important. And now we identify the problem. So I think we should be looking for solutions. Because talking all along, repeating, they say, I think we are identified with the problem. The media has a role to play, the academia in particular. In my opinion, if you look at the West, for instance, if you take UK, people at the high learning institutions, they indirectly control the government, not the government controlling them. They're independent, all right, but they have found research issues, programs, and they know where the economy should be going. They know what to do. So they inform government. If government doesn't agree with them, sometimes they ignore them, sometimes they fight, and they disagree, but they don't fight. We still have few examples in Ghana here. People like Peter Kote of ISA, and I think we can still count on the few ones. If the media is able to get these people and bring them to agree to appear before your stations and continue to do that. These are very courageous people, and we need to kind of bring them on board. We can still find few in Ghana who would have to now train people to be courageous. I think that's what we should be looking for.
Thank you.
Otherwise, the problem will continue to go if we are living it this way, because you are doing right, you are doing well. When I listen to you every morning, your reflections, it goes straight into my heart. And I know that I'm not the only person. But sometimes in leadership, people that are recognized, people that have certain pedigree, when they speak, people listen. And I know we will not be able to convince everybody now. But you have a role to play. If you can select few people that you think they are political or they are independent of their opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that. Solution-minded. I appreciate that very much. Thanks for calling us. Papa Bisu is in Accra. Papa Bisu, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Yes, I'm trying to let you know something. You talk about a culture of silence, but most of us don't really know how they bring in this type of culture of silence. You know ASP Agojo. ASP Agojo.
Yes, we know him.
There was this public lecture that he put up. He made certain comments, and then there are some other people. What happened was that they termed them as what they call it. Later on, they termed them as what they call it. They are trying to stage a coup.
This is a matter that is in court right now as we speak.
Okay.
They've been charged with high treason.
So let me just put it aside. So it's like I'm just trying to link it up to certain things that happen in this very country. Right now, when you are talking and you don't say anything, you are too hard on the government. They will tell you that you are going overboard. Some people will threaten you. It never happened under PM's administration.
Oh, that's not fair. It did happen.
No. It didn't happen. I'll tell you for a fact.
Every administration in the Fourth Republic.
Let me tell you something. The way, if it happened under James' administration, what is happening now is too much. That brought in my alma mater, the schoolmate, Sam Jonah, to talk. He said people are silent. He said there's culture of silence. And I've been saying this thing for quite a long time.
Thank you, Papa Bisu. Let's see if we can get a few more calls in before we wrap up. Ernest is in East Legon. Ernest, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay. What I want to say is that, this country, because of what the politicians are doing, the youth are no more interested to work. And even if you're trying to, do something, like they will be discouraging you. As I'm speaking to you, I'm a graduate, but I can't find work. And not that the program I did is a bogus program. I did electrical engineering. And I'm looking for work, and I have to be driving.
Wow.
The country is so polarized with politicians. They should leave the country for the technocrats so that we can develop the country, because we are the professionals. We are the professionals. Now, it's like when you don't have money in this country, you don't have a say. Because when you try to say something, they'll release their land guards after you, and they will try to kill you. So what the youth of this country has to do is that we have to stand up and take this country from the old men. Otherwise, they are eating our expenses. So that's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can you imagine, in a nation where we have doomso and related problems, an electrical engineer can't get a job?
And see, what he's saying is crucial for one simple reason. We have done survey of the jobs we need. Electrical engineer is one of the most sought after positions that we want.
Yep, but we have unemployed ones amongst us. Francis is in Nungwa. Francis, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you for taking my call, too. All right, Kojo. Please, can we take our mind back to the national anthem? Please, can you help me with the words?
God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Great and strong. Bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility. Make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore.
Thank you very much. You see, and the next thing we do now is only talk and talk and talk. That is Ghana. Our most problem, which has become a trouble onto our heads now, is only talking. So, for instance, we are talking about this. After 10 a.m. and the program is off, probably we'll come back tomorrow to talk about the next thing. So we don't come out with a clear step of practical, livable solutions, all right? If this is the problem and we have talked about it, and this is the solution, so from tomorrow, we are going to do this in real practical terms. So I've been monitoring, and Ghana is only talking, and not living at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you. God bless you. There's something deep about what that last caller said. It can't end with talking. Talking should be the beginning. Something must follow that. Action must follow that. Yeah. Do we have time for any more callers? Yeah. So the numbers 055 1111 997. Emma is from Tema, or is it Ima? Ima from Tema. Good morning, Ima.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, too.
What I have to say is that most of the problems generate from you, the journalists, because you give time for the politicians all the time. One lady just made mention of it. A time should come, nobody should call any politician. Don't call anybody. Call other people to bring their minds out. And one of your colleagues made a statement. I think about, I've forgotten, but why should you talk about economy when it's getting to elections? So I ask myself, if I'm married, I'm going to date a woman somewhere, and you turn around in front of my wife, you are asking me who was I talking to? I mean, I will not be happy with you. So you should use wisdom sometimes in your work that you do. Don't go and ask some questions during election time. You will never be happy doing those things. They will hate you. Be it NDC, be it MPP. So ask the relevant questions at the right time. Thank you.
That's an interesting view. Normally, I'll just let that pass. But you see the analogy he gave? Somebody is cheating on his wife, and you are saying it, and you are the bad guy. So rather use wisdom to protect those doing wrong.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. All right, then. Listen, let's wrap this up. Thank you, by the way. Thanks to all of you who have called us. This conversation, it doesn't make sense without your voice, you know. So thank you. Thank you so much for calling. And it's okay if you disagree with us. We keep saying that. You know, it's okay, you know, to speak with us, to disagree with us. Mm-hmm. But just don't attack. We won't attack you, so don't attack us, okay? All right, then, gents. Let's take our final thoughts on this, because I want to pick a cue from the last but one caller who said that we shouldn't just talk.
I agree.
We should act.
Yes.
So how are we going to act?
So first and foremost, I think government must cherish fearless honesty and not sycophancy. That's really not any media institution's job. Now, I will end with the words of Samson Ladia Inene. He sent me a message, and it's very important to me. He says, the aspect about media, what issues have we not moderated the best plain talk and solutions about, or written criticism and suggestions for solutions about now, as we have always done? Which issue did Sir Jonah mention or not mention that has not been bluntly traversed on Joy, despite the reality of the tagging and attacks you talk about? I suppose Sir Jonah is asking for weak media to sit up and critical media to perhaps organize protest and all after exposing wrongs and hosting the debates. But have we not joined forces with active social media, especially CDD, Imani, and the Anti-Corruption Coalition to campaign on? The risk is real for some of us personally and our families. But hey, we still must reflect and plan to risk a bit more for God and country. Let's keep reminding ourselves of our best scripture. That is what's in the 1992 Constitution, Article 1625, which says, all agencies of the mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the principles, provisions, and objectives of the Constitution, and shall uphold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people of Ghana. So that is our gospel, and in his words, those are the things that we should consistently reflect on and improve in our performance. Yet we know that they will come with all of these suits, threats of law, court cases, boycotts, and all of the others. But we still have that responsibility, especially weak media. And it's important that weak media sits up. Compromised media, as Sir Samjona calls it, the conveyor belt. You know how conveyor belts work, right? You are just the root. You are the conduit for doing some of these things. And really, if they also sit up and not only become a reflection of the voice of the politicians, we'll head somewhere as a country.
Well, Kojo, so when Machiavelli was writing The Prince, he acknowledged
Back to Machiavelli.
that a lot of people will come your way, give you presents, tell you a lot of things you want to hear. But those are not the people who like you. In fact, those who like you are the ones who look you in the face and tell you, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Do things differently. And that's the essence of criticism. It doesn't mean we hate people. It only means we love our country, we love that person, and we wouldn't want that person to fail. I see many of you saying, well, this should be extended. Maybe we should have a whole debate on all of this. Why not? Debates are welcome and can always be had in diverse forms.
Absolutely.
But let us speak freely, and those who are expected to listen, they must listen and work with the critiques of right thinking and well-meaning Ghanaians.
I thought we could wrap up with a voice that everybody will be very interested to hear on this topic. He joins us on the phone right now. Manasseh Azure Awuni. Manasseh, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
We spent a lot of time talking about this culture of silence that Sir Sam Jonah alluded to. What do you think? Is it a real thing? Are we living in a culture of silence?
We started living in a culture of silence long ago, and I have written extensively about it. That I'm not that old in the media, but I started practice just after leaving school in 2010, and I can say that the past 4 years, or to be precise, since Nana Akufo-Addo came into power, the atmosphere hasn't been the same in terms of how free someone is to express their views and how free or the peace of mind they enjoy after expressing those views if they are not in favor of the governing party.
Well, look, I think sometimes people don't quite get how this impacts on us and our ability to develop. And sometimes it's not even about developing, it's about just surviving. Currently, our water bodies are at risk because of Galamsey. We are under a government that in their first term said they would deal with this. The president put his presidency on the line. Talk to us about how perhaps the culture of silence has ended up being one of the factors for which reason we are now going to have to import water a few years from now.
Well, I can say all the problems of this country flow from corruption. And you can name any problem at all we are facing, and I'll tell you how corruption is linked to it. It doesn't take rocket science to stop this Galamsey thing, but we know that the very people who were brought in to fight the Galamsey, government appointees, party people, started to engage in it themselves. And you go, some party executives in the regions are allegedly part of it. We know that excavators that were seized from the miners were sold to other people who were engaging in this same activity elsewhere. And the president would tell you, bring evidence. There is evidence that excavators were sold, they admitted. But who is in jail? Who has been punished for that? If you look at how some of the corruption issues have come up, and I just want to also mention, I listened to the callers and I think they are right in being angry, but look at the few people who have stood up to fight for the country. And when they get into trouble, how are they treated?
Yeah.
We know of Domelevo recently who was handed out of office. Elsewhere, people would have poured into the street to demonstrate, especially last year being an election year. Akufo-Addo couldn't have asked Domelevo to go if there was massive demonstration in this country against that. So when such people stand up and then they fail and nobody speaks a word, an MP puts Ahmed Swale's photograph on television and incites people to attack him. This young man was killed later, and no single person went into the street to demonstrate. We know of the closure of these radio stations that Muntaka Mubarak, during the vetting, produced evidence to show that it was done selectively. And if a government can decide to apply this law selectively, it's only warning the other media houses that be careful, I can do this to you. All of these are issues that, for me, contribute to the fact that we are not getting a solution to the problem. Some people are talking, when they get into trouble, they are left to their fate. We also have a citizenry that is too timid and also extremely partisan. Those who are screaming today, people must speak up, people must speak up. They are only screaming because their political party is not in power. A lot of them, there are a few genuine ones, but generally,
people would talk because their political party is not in power. And the same people who are saying, journalists, speak up. Tomorrow, if NDC comes into government and you, Kojo, begins to speak up, you'll find these same people coming after you. So a number of factors have accounted for this, and I would just want to say something to those who claim that some of us keep speaking up and say that there's culture of silence. They should find PAB and Sons book, Going to Town, and read some of the most powerful and critical things he wrote under President Rawlings.
Yeah.
But in that period, we couldn't say because PB and Son was speaking up, there was no culture of silence. The fear to speak up is real. Yeah. And Sam Jonah said in his speech that these things he was about to say are not new, but they were things that were being discussed when you meet people. And I tell you, when I meet even some MPP people, a deputy minister of state in this government told me that, look, I'm too ashamed to take a phone and call Domelevo, who is my friend, because of what has been done to him. But he cannot speak up.
Indeed.
So the fear is real, and if the president will sit up, at least it will do his credibility a bit of good.
I think that's a great place to wrap this up. And look, we've still got important conversations to have, okay? We've still got Galamsey to contend with. And what happened to that building that collapsed on and killed 5 toddlers in Breman Jamra? What happened? Where do the children of Breman Jamra go to school today? Richard Kojo Nyakon has been checking, and the answers will shock you. Stay tuned. That and more after these.
Mother,